Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this morning? Yes, indeed, welcome to the first morning stream of the week. So this week, after talking with Freya, is going to be more of a test run week, and if this week goes well, then it'll be the schedule for the entirety of the summer, and I'll go over the schedule for the summer in just a little bit. But we got some people in the chat. Sticky V, what's going on? Hound 3000, what is going on, bruv? Mr. Peabody's here. Lila Lightning, all my people from Australia. It must be pretty late for you guys over in Australia. Let's see, Zippo Fanatic, what's going on? Micah D2, what's going on? Cupcake Geek, hello Odin, hello Cupcake Geek, how is it going? How is it going? Lando Calrissian live at this ungodly hour. Yes, indeed. As I said before, I'm going to be doing some morning streams this summer because obviously I'm off for the summer. I'm not working, so I figured it would be a good time to have some streams, especially for my peeps who are overseas, my peeps in the UK who are normally falling asleep or going asleep when I have my normal streams. Let's see, over on D-Live, we got Force Ghost Jeremy, Rotten Trails, and Mr. Peabody. What is going on, bruv? Vladdy99, what's going on? Yivo, what's going on? CF Productions coming to you with another stream. What's going on, CF Productions? The Senate says, good morning, just woke up. Good morning to you, the Senate. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hope you're having a good start to your morning. Yes, indeed, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. All right, so guys, you all know how it goes. If there's any time a question or anything that you want me to talk about, just make sure you tag me in that comment. So if you're on YouTube, just put Odin question. You don't have to put the @ symbol, just Odin question, as long as that word, that phrase is there. It'll pop up orange for me, and I'll know that you're trying to get my attention. And if you are over on D-Live right now, which I got 5 people over there right now, hello, hello to my good D-Live peeps, just put @Odin at the very beginning, and I'll know that you're trying to get my attention. So D-Live, @Odin, those on YouTube, Odin question. So this being the first of what I hope to be a series of live streams going on for the summer. Monday mornings are going to be what we call box office / movie talk news. So we're going to talk about just movies that came out the past weekend, movies that we watched over the weekend, also talking a little bit about the box office numbers too. As you guys know, I do box office breakdowns every Sunday for the Geeks and Gamers channel, but always there are numbers coming out even after I do those box office numbers, and so we can talk about those just a little bit, and also just about any other movies, because I did see a movie last night, Netflix film, and it was extremely vile, extremely evil. The one with Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy, and holy crap, that is a tour de force performance from Zac Efron. And I think that if no one has ever really thought of Zac Efron in a positive light as far as his acting chops go, I would recommend this one, because it sure as hell makes me a believer in the work that he can do. And he's pretty damn good. Siggy says, overseas peeps for the win. Absolutely. Got to give my love to the overseas peeps. But also, there's been a lot of people that I know have been clamoring for a morning stream, because unfortunately, a lot of people do not have any types of morning streams available to them. And so I figured, hey, might as well fill in the gap. We're bridging the gap. G-Monkey76, one of my guys that's been wanting a morning stream. And G-Monkey, we are going to be trying a movie stream tomorrow. So since I got some people in here, probably most of the people that are going to be here for the morning, this is going to be the schedule for the weeks coming forward. Now, of course, this first week is a test run as far as the time goes, so the time might, change by an hour or so. Maybe it'll start at 10, maybe it'll start at 9:30, but again, it's going to be in the morning. Don't worry, it's still going to be in the morning. But the way it's going to work is that Mondays is going to be movie talk news, box office news, again, movie talk. Typical movie pop culture stuff that's typical to this channel. Tuesdays is going to be a D-Live exclusive, because we're going to watch movies together, and because D-Live is not nearly as restrictive when it comes to copyright stuff, I'm going to be able to actually play the audio from the movie, so that way you guys know where I am in the film, or if you can't watch the film, you'll be able to at least hear and say, oh, wait a minute, I hear what's going on. I heard that line, and this is awesome. And so that'll be available on Tuesday mornings. On Wednesdays, it'll be a wrestling stream. That's right, a wrestling talk stream, because I know there are a couple people out there that are wrestling fans just like I am, so we'll be talking some wrestling news. That's going to be on the secondary channel on Welcome to Asgard, on D-Live, and of course on Periscope as well. And then on Thursdays, we are going to do what were we going to do on Thursdays? Oh man, I've already forgotten my own schedule. On Thursdays, we are going to do a Twitch stream. That's right. So on Thursdays, it's going to be a Twitch exclusive stream, because there are people that started following me over on Twitch when I was trying to gain followers, and then I found out, once you become partner on Twitch, you can't stream anywhere else at the same time, or you could be taken down. So Thursdays are going to be Twitch only streams. So if you have a Twitch account, you can still watch me over there. And that one's going to be a typical chat, open forum type talk. So that one's always going to be open forum. but sometimes I might be playing a game at the same time. Sometimes I won't, but it's going to be an open forum chat for anyone that wants to watch over there, and that is how it's going to go. So I will have that written down somewhere. I'll put that up on the website. I'll put that up on the YouTube channel, on Twitter, on the Discord as well, but that probably won't go up officially until the end of this week, just to see if I can actually, survive this week, because that is a lot of streaming, as you guys can tell. And of course, we need to start off by saying a happy Memorial Day. So praying for all of those, brave men and women who dedicated their lives, who served their lives here in the United States especially, and praying for all those servicemen and women across the world, and those who especially gave the ultimate sacrifice of their lives. So we, of course, start off by thinking of them, praying for their families, and praying that we never forget the act of service, that we never forget the act of sacrifice that they have done, those both who are no longer with us and those who are still with us, and that all people can recognize just how important they are and can recognize the respect that they deserve, that the men and women of our armed forces deserve, especially again for those who have lost their lives and their families, and to never forget their families. So once again, thank you for your service. If you are a serviceman or woman, thank you for your service. If you are related to someone, if you've lost somebody who was a serviceman or woman, I thank you for your service as well, because as everyone knows, anyone who has members in the family, members of the family in the service, you know that it is a family affair. It is a family choice. It is a family burden in many occasions. And so thoughts and prayers out to all of those people. Happy and blessed Memorial Day to those. And just know that we are here on Odin's Movie Blog. We are here to support you. We are here to show love and to show appreciation for you. So thank you for that. And thank you for the reminder of that, Russell Hunter. Indeed, happy Memorial Day. Indeed, blessed Memorial Day to all of those people. All right, Sticky V says, how about this, Odin? What is your guilty pleasure movie or TV show? Ooh, Sticky V starting off with a good one. So I've mentioned this one before, guilty pleasures. Guilty pleasures are tough to talk about, I feel, because guilty pleasures, it's like, is it really a guilty pleasure if I thoroughly enjoy it? If I thoroughly enjoy the film, is it really then a guilty pleasure or not? I guess guilty pleasures in my mind are movies that most people hate or have a negative opinion of, that if you like, you're automatically thought, what? Why would you say that? Why would you like that? So I've mentioned this before for TV. I was a huge fan of Vampire Diaries. No shame, Vampire Diaries was one, because I liked the lore. I mean, obviously the teen drama nonsense was silly, but it was real vampires. They were ripping out throats. They were killing people. They were slaughtering people. It was not the stupid Twilight nonsense, glowing or shining in the sun, glittering in the sun nonsense. And so it was back to like the old school, but it came out around the same time as Twilight was still in theaters and still coming out. And so it was really cool to have that, but also the lore. They went into werewolves, into witches, into all this other stuff. And so I liked the lore a lot. And so overall, I enjoyed that show. Gossip Girl, which is a show that I do regret enjoying, because that show was total trash, and I knew it was total trash. It was just one of those shows where it was like, I need to watch something trashy right now, and so I would watch it, but the end of the series just made the entire experience completely worthless, because it took away seasons worth of development. It reminded me a lot, actually. The Gossip Girl series finale is a lot like season 8 of Game of Thrones, where everything that you've been building towards, all the character development, all the historical development is just thrown out the window, and you're just left with that, wait, what? I would also associate it with shows like How I Met Your Mother, where all of a sudden the ending comes and you're like, wait, I've been waiting all of these seasons for this nonsense? So as far as TV shows, those would be ones. Hey, my hounds are in here with me. Those would be TV shows that I could think of. For movies, I love The Room. But that's just a good, bad movie, so I wouldn't really call that a guilty pleasure movie necessarily. I'm trying to think of anything else. It's early in the morning for me to think about any other movies that I would like that other people might not like, because The Room is almost universally loved as a good, bad movie. Sia Production says, just making sure because I'm terrible at keeping things straight. Is this the only stream of the day, or will there be another one tonight as usual? So guys, these are all going to be additional streams. So this is not me taking away anything. It's adding stuff. It's adding content to the channel. Now, tonight, I will say, the streaming time, the start time will be off. Again, the streaming start time will be off, and that's because we're having friends over. So we're having friends over this evening, and so I will not be able to have my normal start time around 6 CST. So basically, whenever the evening ends, which it is still it's going to be a work night for most of the people that are coming over, because obviously it's Memorial Day, and so many are off today, but not tomorrow. And so as a teacher, I'm off. I don't have anything going on tomorrow, so I don't really have to worry about nearly as much as far as time and sleep, but they do. So I'm thinking that probably they'll be gone around 9:30, 10 p.m. CST, Central Standard Time. But I'm not going to push them out. So just keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be a late one. It's probably not going to be a very long one since I want to get up early in the morning and do the normal routines that I'm going to try and do for the summer. But there will be a stream tonight. It's just going to be a little bit later than normal, which is another reason to have multiple streams because, as I said before, this is, of course, having friends over and we're going to, hang, chill, eat dinner. We're also going to play Catan, which I've never played before, but I hear it's a lot of fun. And we're also going to, but also remember, I'm in a show this summer and those rehearsals are this week, which is why tomorrow's stream will also be a little off as well because of the fact that I have rehearsal until 8 Central Standard Time, which means that we will be going live tomorrow during the High Council, which I tried to avoid, but I do want to have a one-man low council because there are some people that would rather be at the one-man low council than not, but we'll still have fun. So yeah, we'll still have streams tonight and tomorrow, and again, depending, the timing of that is going to be very up in the air for June. But once June is over and July starts, that's when the nighttime streams are going to be a little bit more consistent. But that's a good question because some people were not sure of that CF production. So yeah, the morning streams, they are in addition to and not replacements of. Cupcake Geek says, when will Endgame pass Avatar? Box Office Mojo get updated? Cannot wait. So as of right now, the box office has not gotten an update from the foreign totals. Right now, we have it standing at $2.6 billion to, I think it's 2.677, so 677 million. It needs to get to 2.78. Again, 2.78 is that number to pass Avatar. There are many people speculating that it does not have the momentum, that it's not going to have the drive to be able to pass it. I still honestly think it will, and that's just because of how it started off, how much money it made in the first couple of weeks. And honestly, as I said, we don't have those official numbers quite yet for the morning totals, or rather for the weekend totals for the foreign numbers. And so I'm going to wait and see where we are with that, because if we're at around 2.7 or even closer past 2.7, then I think it's going to be a lot more likely. If we don't have it by this weekend, though, there's a good chance that we'll have it by next weekend. So, yes, I still think it's going to beat Avatar. It's not going to make $3 billion. Again, that was definitely a pipe dream on my account. It's not going to make $3 billion, but it is probably going to end up doing pretty well. Lena Lightning says, Odin question, how is Godzilla tracking? There has not been any tracking that I've been made aware of, but I'm pretty sure it's tracking pretty well. So let me actually just go ahead and look that up right now. Since this is indeed a box office stream, this is a movie news stream, and so I'll go ahead and look up that news for you and let you know if the source is good or not. So let's see, Monsters box office tracking. Let's see, according to Variety, which again, take that with a grain of salt because Variety is definitely one of those shill sites. It says it may smash a $50 million plus debut. And remember that whenever you have articles from Variety and other places, they only ever talk about the domestic numbers. So it's saying that's going to make around $50 million is the projected opening for the North American box office. With that being the case, I expect this film to make a crap ton overseas, which is a little bit harder to track. But seeing that this film is going to get released in a wide variety of countries and that it's going to be pretty much tailor-made to do well in those countries has me thinking that, yeah, this film is going to make a crap ton of money, for sure. And in fact, let me go ahead and just confirm the overall release dates for it, because that can obviously make a difference as far as what it's going to make opening weekend. So let's see, we got Godzilla. And don't worry, my D-Lab people, I know that y'all are trying to contact me as well, and I will get to you guys in a second. But right now, we've got for Godzilla King of the Monsters, as far as release dates go. So obviously in the USA, it comes out the 31st. It is getting releases earlier than that. So it's getting released on the 29th in Belgium, Finland, France, the UK, Indonesia, Ireland, South Korea, Sweden. Then on the 30th in Australia, Brazil, Colombia, Germany, Greece, Hong Kong, Hungary, Israel, India, which is a big market, Italy, Kazakhstan, Lebanon, Lithuania, Netherlands, Philippines, Portugal, Russia, Singapore, Slovakia, Ukraine, Kosovo, and then on the 31st, it's getting released, so just like the same as the U.S., Bulgaria, China, that's the big one. China, it is getting released the same day, so that opening weekend number for the 31st, that is going to be, I think, a gigantic number because I think it's going to do well in China. Estonia, Japan, Cambodia, and all the other ones coming out, so it's in a crap ton. So basically, I'm looking at this, and I'm saying this is being released in almost every single market available, which is, again, a very good sign, and if it's tracking well domestically in the United States, it's going to do well overseas, too. Like, that's pretty much just a given at this point. So, yeah, I think that overall it's going to do very, very well. So again, $50 million is the projection for this for the domestic opening weekend. So. Alrighty. So, my people over on D-Live, what's going on? Mr. Peapie says, I haven't played Fortnite in a while. Getting shot in the butt all the time is a pain in the butt. I hear you, Mr. Peabody. Hey, you know what? If I decide to game, so again, on the Thursday streams, those will be Twitch streams. Those will be Twitch exclusive streams. And so Fortnite will probably be the game that ends up getting played, though, of course, I'm open to suggestions. Brad Beerhunter, thank you very much for that ice cream. The K-Man, thank you for the 2 ice creams as well. I appreciate that. And Ogizon4200, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that very much. All right, what do we got here? The Senate says, I haven't opened Twitch in the longest time ever. Yep, same here. Ever since I found out, you can't stream to multiple places, I was like, okay, well then I guess I won't stream to multiple places. Caster Moses says, hey Odin, just watched Aladdin. Naomi Scott was so good as Jasmine, but still prefer the original animated movie. I'm right there with you, Cass. If you have not seen Aladdin, I would say that it is a unnecessary remake. And obviously it's not going to ever get close to the original animated movie, which is why I don't know why they're remaking it, other than it being a cash grab on their part. And that's why I want these films to fail. It's not because I hate all of the films that are coming out, or I hate everything about the films coming out. It's just that I want the films to not make money, so that way Disney says, okay, we can't just remake them and expect people to go see them. Like, that's the reason why I don't want them to do well at the box office. But yeah, Aladdin overall, it's unnecessary. There are some good parts, but by far the most outstanding part of Aladdin is Naomi Scott. Naomi Scott's Jasmine is damn near perfect. It is so good. Her singing, of course, is fantastic. And the new song they wrote for her, Speechless, is incredible. So I would say, if you have no interest in seeing it, listen to her sing Speechless, and then let that be, okay, do I want to see this person play this role and sing this song and sing other songs that I know Jasmine sings, or is that not enough for me? So I would say it's worth, if you want to see it, it's worth $5. It's worth that Tuesday discount movie, I think. But again, that's totally up to you, whether you are boycotting Disney or not. Totally up to you. It is not necessary that you see it. It does not add anything to the overall story. And as I said before, I would much rather them had actually gone out of their way to make a different story, a different telling called Jasmine, and have that be the focus, since Jasmine obviously had a much stronger part in this movie. Cass Hermosa also says, hey guys, happy Memorial Day to you all there in America. Thank you, Cass. Appreciate that. Random Nerd of Doom, good morning to you, good sir. Senate says, I'm going to breakfast with my dad at 9 for Memorial Day. He was in the Army for about 9 or 10 years, not sure. Will the Senate tell your father to thank you so much for your service? Again, tell your father that we here on Odin's Movie Blog tell him thank you for your service, because, again, we understand and appreciate the sacrifices that they make. So thank you so much for that. Caster Moses says, I like Season 8 of Game of Thrones too. That's why one guilty pleasure, says Cass. Hey, Cass, there are definitely ones out there. There are people that exist that do like Season 8 of Game of Thrones. And now I will say, there are a couple episodes and moments that I do like. Again, subjectively, I did enjoy. However, I think that most of us can agree that objectively speaking, it is by far the weakest. Again, it is by far the weakest of the seasons of Game of Thrones, and that it just does not build up. It just does not build up and does not really conclude in the way that makes any sense with all of the other stuff that was established previously. Cupcake Geek says, do you like the Lethal Weapon trilogy? I love it. I've actually never seen a Lethal Weapon movie all the way through. Never seen a Lethal Weapon movie all the way through. So I might like it. It could be something that I like, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe that's one of the movies that we watch on Tuesday. The Senate says, do I need to watch 2014 Godzilla to understand this new Godzilla film this year? I don't think so, Senate. I think there are certain characters that are crossing over from that first film, so that might be the only thing that might help, is more context as far as the characters are concerned. But from what I have seen in the trailers, it does not look to be a prerequisite where you have to see it. I would recommend it, though. I like 2014 Godzilla. I do think that Godzilla being in the title and Godzilla only being on screen for 5 minutes was, 5 to 10 minutes, was a letdown, a major letdown. But obviously you can tell they're making it up with this film, where it looks like it's going to be non-stop monsters on screen. But I do think that 2014 was a well-made film. It was well acted, well written, and overall I enjoyed it as a film, as a movie. Let's see. Random Nerd of Doom says, my favorite vampire movie is Blade. My only question, would Blade kill a vampire that drank fake blood and kept to themselves? If he did, would it be a hate crime to vampires? I have no idea. Yeah. I mean, I've only seen Blade once, so it's been a very long time since I've seen Blade. very, very long time since I've seen Blade. So that is something I am not sure of, and I can't tell if that's a joke or not. Blake Hamler says, hey, Odin, good morning. Good morning, Blake. Hope everything is well with you. Russell Ali says, what do you think about the hashtag release the Snyder cut of Justice League? I am not a huge fan of Zack Snyder. I'm just going to say it right there, and a lot of people are going to be like, dislike, dislike, dislike. I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't think he's that talented, to be perfectly honest. Even films that I liked from him earlier in his career, for example, 300 and Watchmen, have not aged well. I tried watching 300 again years later, and I just couldn't follow. Like, I just was bored. I was so bored by the film. Because when it first came out, it was awesome. It was kick-ass. It was great. But over time, just the effects have not aged very well. I would say the same thing with Watchmen too, especially since all the damn changes they did with Watchmen were just very annoying. And so it just hasn't aged well. Similar process. Now, I will say that for Justice League or for BVS, those movies, when I first saw them, were not good. Like, objectively, they were flawed, but subjectively, because of that, I just did not like them. So I don't want any more releases of any other cut because I don't think more of Zack Snyder is a good thing. And again, that's just my own personal thought. That's my own personal opinion. I do think there's some objective truth to that as far as the way that he makes and writes stories. But if you want the Justice League, cut, I think that if fans want it, and if enough fans want it, they should do it. Again, they should give those out. They should, release that cut if it actually exists. However, I'm just not one of those persons because I am not a Zack Snyder fan. Castromosa says, what's your Twitch? Did not catch it in the chat. It should just be Odin's movie blog, though if it's not, it might be Odin movie blog because of some weird, you can't make this name because it's too long nonsense. Hound 3000 says, do you still watch anime? I've fallen off on anime, so one of my goals this week is to watch Akira because Bruce, the very generous Bruce, sent me a bunch of movies to watch, and one of them was Akira. So I'm gonna try and watch Akira sometimes this week. Maybe that's the movie that we watch tomorrow on D Live. But yeah, we are going to be. I do still watch some anime, but I have fallen off a little bit. I finished Cowboy Bebop. Great ending, great series, but I ended up having to get rid of Funimation because I had a Funimation account and I just did not have time to continue to watch Dragon Ball like I was trying to do. So I'm not opposed to watching anime, but I have fallen behind a little bit on the anime. Let's see. Sticky V says, will you go to Jay and Silent Bob reboot when it comes out? Is there going to be a Jay and Silent Bob reboot? Is there really going to be a Jay and Silent Bob reboot? It depends. I mean, obviously, I've got my issues with with Silent Bob himself, Kevin Smith, because he's just become such a shill and very annoying. But at the same time, too, I love those characters. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back might be one of my favorite comedies because it's very, very well done. Not to mention Clerks 2. Holy crap, Clerks 2 is fantastic. So if he's going to write a funny movie, hey, I'm all on board. A couple super chats. The Hunka Chunka Fucking Monkey. Hello, good sir, Hunka Chunky. You were one of the persons I had in mind when starting to do the morning streams, in addition to the normal streams as well, because I know that normally you're asleep at night. So Hunka Chunka Fucking Monkey, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you for the super chat. Says, hashtag Duck Fisney. Love that. They are bereft of original thoughts. I'm right there with you. Seriously, look at the slate of Disney films coming out over the next 5 years, and you might find one original movie, and it's from Pixar. Like, that's it. Pixar is the only studio within and underneath Disney that is releasing any original content. So I think there might be one, max 2 original movies coming out under Disney in the next 5 years or so. It's ridiculous. And I really do think that it's sad because Disney, even though Disney has, of course, borrowed ideas for a long time, even their animated classics, they're borrowed ideas, they're borrowed concepts. I do think that they at least had original stuff coming out too. But now it's all about reboots. It's all about reboots and remakes and all that nonsense. Kermit the Log, thank you very much for the super chat as well. I do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, going over to my D-Live peeps. Let's see, Will Gentry says, well, your D-Live and YouTube streams aren't in sync today. There may be a couple seconds out. Well, that happens, and that's simply because D-Live runs on a different server than YouTube does. And so it's rare that they would ever be completely in sync with each other. But as long as the stream you're watching has in-sync video and audio, that's the only real important thing. So Will Gentry also, thank you very much for the lemon. I do appreciate that very much. Bot says, will the Game of Thrones petition have a possibility or negative effect on the spinoffs? I think it has already had an impact because it has already been stated by HBO that, and this is something that's interesting and weird, and this is something that I know Gary Nadrata covered. I think it's interesting that you had an executive from HBO say that they're going to release a pilot for the first planned, the first of many that were originally thought to be planned prequels, but then we'll see what happens, was the words. It's not a good sign when an executive for HBO says, we'll see what happens after the pilot is released for a prequel series. That's not a good thing to hear. But also, apparently he, in the same interview, says that any other prequel is on hold or has been canceled. So right now there is one prequel series that is in mind, that is in like the process of being started. And the plan right now is to release a pilot and see what happens. So I think that the petition has had an impact. Now, again, some people thought, oh my gosh, this petition is stupid because they're not going to remake season 8. They're not going to. Of course they're not. But will it have an impact on the future of Game of Thrones? Will it have an impact on the future of these prequel spinoffs they were wanting to have? Looks like that is the case. So, yeah, people speak loudly and people are heard when they speak loudly. But also, I imagine that in conjunction with the 1.5 plus million that have signed the petition, many of those people have also canceled their HBO accounts. And so HBO is looking at that and saying, all right, well, now we're losing people. Now we're losing money. So this is not just a public, a PR nightmare. This is now a financial nightmare on top of that. And so I think that it is having an impact because it's obviously bringing more attention to the fact that many fans are ticked off. And also that many fans are going to be canceling their HBO accounts because they don't want to have or deal with that nonsense anymore. So, but yeah, I think that's going to have an impact, Bot. Let's see. Dion, thank you very much for the ice cream. Appreciate it. Bitcoin Casino, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that very much. All right, heading back over to my YouTube peeps. Let's see, Sigavi got that one already. Random Doom says, I think comedian Russell Peters should have played Genie in Aladdin. He looks Middle Eastern and has Robin Williams type humor. If you have seen his stand-up, I've not seen his stand-up, but yeah, overall, I think that if they were gonna go for a Genie and they were going to try and make the Genie as iconic, they should have gone with a high energy personality to play that part. Will Smith tries, he really does, and there's some moments in that role that he really shines in, but I would say that overall, it's just a big miss, because nothing can ever replace what Robin Williams did, and instead they decided to go in a direction where it was different. It was Will Smith being Will Smith, and people like Will Smith. He's charismatic, but it just was not, did not have a similar feel to the character. It did not fit the character. That's the biggest problem, is that, yeah, it was fine. It just did not fit the actual character of the Genie that had already been pre-established as such. The Senate says, do you think Disney is stupid enough to make this a cinematic universe, the whole Disney remake of films? Not a cinematic. I don't think they're ever going to officially say, ooh, it's its own, universe and they all interconnect with each other. I think that they're going to continue to remake and reboot classics because if you go ahead and look to their schedule, they announced their slate of films up until like 2027 or so. You will see clearly that they have a lot of these reboots and remakes on the slate. There's a lot of live action stuff that they're going to make. Adaptations. Mulan is coming. Hunchback has been talked about as well. You also have many. They're even doing another remake of, oh my gosh. Yeah, they're doing a remake for some reason of Lady and the Tramp. It's ridiculous. Pretty much any classic animated show, animated series, animated movie they did, they are now rebooting. They are now doing over. And you're thinking to yourself, why? There is no reason for you to do so. The movies are fine as they are. If you want to get money, if you want a cash grab, just re-release it. Add bonus features. Have a 4K do something that improves the original movie. Don't just remake it and say, oh, we're just going to throw this together and have all the audiences be like, ooh, we liked Aladdin when we were kids. We'll go watch it again. Now, Aladdin, I would say, is actually doing better than some of the other live actions as far as financially is concerned. But is it going to make it through next weekend? I'm not sure. Because guess what comes out? Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And Godzilla is going to eat up not just domestic numbers, but most especially those foreign numbers. As I said, it's releasing on the same day in China and many other countries. So this weekend, Aladdin's not going to make much in that foreign total. So yeah, it might, break even. It might make profit, but still, I'm really hoping that towards the end that this stuff just, goes away. I hope that it goes away because it really is getting sad at this point. Random Nerd Doom says, my guilty pleasure was the 2000 Fantastic Four, and it was only because of Jessica Alba. Casamosa says, so excited for you to stream again on Twitch. What will you play on stream? Lucky. So, yeah, on Twitch, again, gaming is not going to be a, it's not going to be a guarantee that every Thursday on Twitch I'll be streaming a game. But it's going to be an open forum chat. So we'll be able to talk about whatever you want, but I'll probably play a game as well, because Twitch is, of course, a very, unique platform, usually mostly for gaming. So probably Fortnite, I would imagine, because that's the one game I know works and I have loaded up. But I'm open to other free games, obviously. Donald Hudson, what's going on? Good morning from Trini and I. Hello, Trini. Hello, Trin. How's it going? And welcome, Donald Hudson. Glad to have you back. Random Nerd of Doom says, my Blade question was a joke and a question. Gotcha. There are vampires in the Blade universe that don't drink people's blood and are just vampires. Blade kills vampires. Would he kill them too? Again, not sure. Not sure at all. Laura has just woken up. Good morning to Laura. Ryan stole my fan fiction story. Hound 2000 says, if you like vampires and anime, try watching Hellsing. Is that a show or is that a movie? Ooh, that's a guilty pleasure film right there. Van Helsing. That is definitely a guilty pleasure film for me. No question about it. I like it. Don't know why. The effects are crap. There's so many crappy things about it, but you know what? Van Helsing. I like it. It's fun. Yivo says the Jay and Silent Bob reboot is already in production. Ooh, okay. I gotcha. Well, hey, you know what? If it's going to be similar to its other content, I might go see that. Sen says, have you heard of the Pixar theory? Are you talking about how all of them are interconnected with each other? Yes, I have. I think that some of them work, some of them make sense, but others are a bit of a stretch. Random Nerd of Doom, does having a beard like yours get itchy? No, it doesn't. The only time beards ever really get itchy, at least in my experience, is when you do a clean shave and then it's just starting to grow out again for the first time. And then once it gets to a certain length, it stops being itchy at that point. So, Orange Eye Review says, going to go be in lurk mode for the foreseeable future. Charger broke for my laptop. Hate typing on my phone. Stay awesome. Well, Orange Hat, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it nonetheless. La da 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 da. Let's see. Alex McCarthy, good morning. Alex McCarthy, how's it going, bruv? Sticky V, what do you think about some of Ryan Reynolds, his movies like R.I.P.D., Life, and Buried? Buried was great. I loved Buried, actually. It was a good film. So for those that have not known it, it's a film that is filmed where a man is buried alive underground. And so the entirety of the film takes place in the coffin. And so you literally feel like you're trapped in the coffin with him the entire time. His performance is great. I think what they do with that limited space is also, fantastic. So Buried is actually a really good film. I like it a lot. Life has its moments. I was able to get that Blu-ray actually for free from a show that I watch, from a podcast that I follow. So Life overall, I would say it has some really cool moments to it. The effects are a little iffy, which is why I'm the effects. I don't know how to feel about it. R.I.P.D. sucks though. R.I.P.D. might be one of the worst films that's ever been made. I slept through, I want to say, 90% of the film. So I saw that with my little brother. And when I woke up, because about 20 minutes in, I fell asleep. I woke up, I looked next to him, and I said, was it any good? And he said, nope. And I'm like, all right, good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, it was boring and stupid. And then I've tried to watch it since then, and I can't do it because it just looks that damn bad. Random Nerd of Doom says, in the second Hobbit movie, there is a scene that lasted a minute where the camera zoomed up on a random Asian woman just to show how woke they were. Did it really? I didn't really notice that as much. Those movies just were not necessary. That's the reason why I didn't like them. Russell Ali says, hello from India. Have you seen any of the Indian shows, Sacred Games on Netflix? No, I have not, Russell Ali. I have not seen those. Tell me more. The Senate says, I've heard they're making Lilo and Stitch live action. Yep. Yes, that is indeed on their slate of things to do. A Lilo and Stitch live action. I didn't even like the first animated Lilo and Stitch. So now they're going to make a live action? It's going to be like Dora the Explorer. God. Cash Hermosa, Mulan live action, please no. Yeah, and apparently they're changing the story for Mulan as well. So instead of it being her fighting against, the system at that time, they're going to really push forward this, a more woke agenda. The movie itself is already pretty progressive for what it tries to portray in its historical account, but instead now they're going to have to try, their plan is to push it even more. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. The story is already progressive enough as it is. So, and not to mention, why in the hell are you having to make this movie in the first place? The animated movie is great. I like the animated movie. God, yeah, seriously. That's why don't go see them. Don't support them financially. Don't support them financially, because if you want the remakes to stop, the way you do that is by speaking with your wallet. And that's by specifically not seeing the live action remakes. Saying, no, we don't want these. We'll see some other films that you make, Disney, maybe, but not these. Random Nerd says, I would love to see a Godzilla vs. Brie Larson movie. I wonder how that will go. Well, Brie Larson would win, of course, because she's OP. She is OP in the world. Don't forget that. Don't you ever forget that. All right, head over to my DLive people. Bot says, I thought HBO would lose a ton of subscriptions anyway, even if the show ended perfectly, because HBO doesn't have much else right now. No, but I'm right. I agree. I think that's right. And I think what they saw was they expected to have a drop-off because they knew that many people were only subscribed because they liked Game of Thrones. And that's the reason why they were trying to push this concept of a prequel series, saying, hey, stay subscribed because the prequel series, it's not going to be too far away and it's going to be awesome. But then all of a sudden season 8 happened and, we can't, yeah. And I think that their drop-offs have been higher than what they thought because there were people who were subscribed beforehand who were going to unsubscribe anyway, but I think more people have subscribed than they thought. So I think that is definitely going to have an impact for sure. I think that the impact of this petition is going to be a lot more far-reaching than they think. Bot, also thank you very much for the lemon. Kirano, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And Dion, thank you very much for the lemon as well. Means a lot. All right, heading back over to the YouTube peeps. Siggy V says Captain Marvel and Batwoman will probably be joining the Sinister Six in the future. Oh, Lord. Well, that would be interesting, seeing that they're part of two different properties, though, of course, Disney eventually will probably own DC, so that will probably happen at some point. But at this point, at least for the next 5 years, no. We'll never have to worry about Captain Marvel and Batwoman being on the same screen. But good Lord, if that day were to ever come, that would be a very sad day indeed. G-Monkey, anything with Kate Beckinsale is a guilty pleasure for me. So you like Serendipity then? Serendipity is one of my go-to Christmas movies. I wouldn't call that a guilty pleasure film because I actually really like that film. Hound 2000 says, Hellsing is a TV, anime, and OVA about vampire hunting. Interesting, Hound. All right. Hound, message me on Twitter or Discord or wherever you can contact me so that way I can look that up later. Alex McCarthy says, I just woke up. 9:30 is too early to be awake, but I awake this early for Asgard. Well, Alex McCarthy, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Senate says, no. Yep. That's what they're doing now. They're just remaking. Let's see. The Senate says Lilo and Stitch will have trash CGI. I'm calling it now. It's going to look horrendous. Probably. Absolutely. And especially since they're going to do the whole live action thing. But Stitch, of course, is going to have to be completely CGI. And you're going to be longing for the days. I'm calling it right now. We're going to be longing for the days of having even that old school animation style when you're going to interact, live action with animation, of having films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which to this day is still, I think, one of the best uses of animation in a show. Seriously. I still think that movie holds up. I really do. Also, for anyone that has not been able to be a part of the normal night streams that I do, that might be new to the morning show, first off, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Please smash the like button. I really do appreciate that a lot. But also know that if you're on YouTube, if you want me to answer a question, or if you want me to read something that you said, just put Odin question, all one word, Odin question, all together is one word, and it'll pop up orange for me. If you're over on DLive, then just put @Odin at the beginning of your comment, and then I will be able to answer it from there. So I'm going to be going between the YouTubes and the DLive like I normally do for this stream. So tomorrow's stream, as I said before, for those that are maybe new to the stream, the schedule, the way it's going to work is that it's going to be normally from 9 to 10:30 or so. And it's going to be on Mondays, movie news, movie pop culture news, box office update news, if anything crazy happens like that. Also, it's going to be talking about just anything else that you want to talk to, as long as it's movie-related stuff. Tuesdays is going to be a DLive exclusive stream, and that is where we're going to watch a movie together. So at the end of the stream today, we'll go ahead and pick the movie that we're going to watch tomorrow, and I'm going to be able to play the audio for the movie, so that way you know where we are in the film, and so that way we can watch it together. All right. And also there's a app that I can use that can allow people to watch together. So I'll look into that, but it looks a little sketchy to me. But anyway, I will be playing the audio of the movie through, since DLive is a little bit more, forgiving when it comes to that kind of stuff. Wednesdays will be a wrestling stream. So a wrestling morning stream, and that's going to be on the Welcome to Asgard YouTube channel, DLive, and also on Periscope. And then on Thursdays, that's going to be a Twitch exclusive stream, because Twitch does not allow you to stream anywhere else when you're partnered. And that is going to be a gaming open forum stream. All right. So that is currently what the schedule is going to be. It might change over the next couple weeks just because we're starting these things out, but so far, I think that it's going to be okay. Ericog Gaming, what's going on, Ericog Gaming? It's been a while, says the Aladdin live-action movie seems to make the assumption that they've seen the 90s movie. They go way too fast into singing without real character development. No, I agree. I think that that's one of the biggest flaws is that they assume if you're watching it that you've seen that original movie. But if that's the case, why are we watching this new one? If a prerequisite is to watch the original animated, well, we already know the story then. We already know the story. We've already heard the songs. We've already established the characters. We already have had them so much better. We've already had so much better in that. So once again, why is this film made in the first place? So I'm right there with you, Ericog Gaming. And that's why, as I said, the one positive that I can for sure say is worth anything is Princess Jasmine's played by Naomi Scott. I think Naomi Scott's fantastic. John Early says, The Shawshank Redemption starts with a song called If I Didn't Care. I may be stupid because I don't know if that's supposed to be symbolic or something. Well, I think that especially with films like Shawshank, where you can tell they care about everything they do, they try and focus on almost every single detail, that it definitely means something to it. Whether it means something or what it means is something I'm not entirely sure of. Russell Ali says, have you seen the new Watchmen trailer by HBO? What do you think about it? I have seen the trailer. It looks awful. It does not look like Watchmen. I'm like, is this supposed to be Watchmen? Because it doesn't feel like it. And from what I've been reading about the direction that the writers are wanting to take the story and how they're trying to modernize it and how they're trying to bring in current political climates in the United States into the series, it looks like it's going to be a train wreck. So, yeah, I'm not excited for it. It does not look good. It does not look good at all. Let's see what we got here. Also, it looks like we've got a troll in the YouTube chat. So, Laura, if you're in the chat, if you could take care of that, I'd appreciate it. Laura says, the wife watched Chernobyl on HBO, and I liked it. Series about the nuclear emergency in Russia years ago. I've heard that Chernobyl is a good series. So that might be a show that I have to might have to look into. Random Nerd Doom says Brie Larson is a vampire. She doesn't have a soul and she sucks. Well, I don't know about that being a vampire. Laura says in the Godzilla movie poster, it looks like G has a big belly, Fatzilla. Well, it's because he hasn't been doing anything. He hasn't been fighting anybody. Now he's fighting people. Now he's got to get back into shape. There's gonna be a Rocky montage. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fantastic. The sign says, Space Jam is my guilty pleasure. I love me some Space Jam. That is not a guilty pleasure. That is just an awesome movie. Space Jam is a classic. Random Nerd of Doom says, Brie Larson, if you put her on a poster that says you don't have kids or you might get her as your child, people would stop having kids. All right, Random. Sen says, can the first film be The Last Jedi? No, seriously, let's remake that. If you're gonna remake things, how about that? How about starting off with that nonsense? Hunka Chunka Funka Monka says, Toys with Robin Williams is a guilty pleasure for me. Toys? I've never seen Toys. Really, Hunky Chunky? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Robin Williams has such range as an actor, so tell me more about Toys. New Master, do you wrestle or is that of a wrestling match? I do not wrestle. No, I do not. But it's going to be, so if you're talking about the Wednesday show, we're going to be talking about WWE news. Of course, the big news, we'll be talking about AEW as well. So we'll be talking about that on Wednesday. Carnivore, what's going on? Carnivore says, how many Godzilla films have you seen, not counting the 1998 Matthew Broderick? And how excited are you for this upcoming Battle Royale? I'm very, very excited for this upcoming film. I've already got my ticket for Thursday, 4 p.m. IMAX showing, so very excited to see it. I've seen, of course, the 98 Matthew Broderick fake Zilla nonsense, but as far as how many I've seen, I honestly don't know, because when I was a kid, they would be on television a lot, and I would watch them because I really liked them. As a kid, I didn't even know that they didn't speak English. You know, I didn't know that they were dubbing over the voices. I couldn't match that up when I was younger. So I've probably seen a lot, to be honest, but I cannot tell you how many, because whenever they were on, I would watch them. So I can't tell you, because since it happened when I was a kid, I can't tell you what the name of the movie was or how many individual films I've seen either. But yeah. Sen says, it's a crappy version of Watchmen is what it is. Yeah, it seems like a very crappy version of Watchmen. Random Rare Dude says, live action Aladdin movies makes me wish I had a genie so that I could wish it into a much better movie with Russell Peters as Genie. See, I know a lot of people got that. Casamersa says, what's your favorite monster in the Godzilla lair? Oh, lore. In the Godzilla lore? Ooh. Let me try and think about that. Because Godzilla, of course, is awesome. I would say Mothra. Don't know why. But I remember watching a movie as a kid, one of the original movies as a kid, and I remember that it was Mothra flying over a city, and isn't it that Mothra, it's been a long time, isn't it that Mothra can release spores that make people fall asleep? Or it kills them? I couldn't remember if it killed them if they inhaled it or if they fell asleep or not. It's been a long time, but that's the one thing I remember, and so Mothra was always my favorite because he was the one that I always remembered. Though, of course, was it King Ghidorah who has the 3 heads? King Ghidorah is a badass. I had a toy because I had toys as a kid, so I had a King Ghidorah toy and also a Godzilla toy, and I'd have them fight with each other all the time. So yeah, even as a kid, I liked it a lot. It's a very interesting thing. Peabody, thank you for letting him know about how that goes, about how to get my attention over on D Lives. Appreciate that very much. Carano, thank you very much for the ice cream, man. I really do appreciate that. Peabody says, almost bought you a wrestling doll today, but I know nothing about WWE, and it was discounted so much the guy must suck. What was the guy's name, Peabody? And I can tell you whether or not he's discounted because he sucks, or if it's just because WWE merchandise is not selling very well, etc. By the way, if you watched one of my videos recently, I went into a Dollar Tree because sometimes they have Blu-rays on sale for $1, and I found a section of Star Wars toys, and it was all Rogue One figures, and they're on sale for $1. And I'm like, yep, this is the current state of Star Wars. Rogue One, which many people say is the better of the Star Wars movies that have come out under Disney, even that one, the toys are under for $1. And I will say, I'm gonna have to actually go back because if there's a K2SO, I'm probably gonna buy a K2SO because K2SO is awesome. Let's see. Russell Hunter says, have you seen this CBS All Access show, The Good Fight? They said it's okay to punch people they disagree with. What? Russell Hunter, that's ridiculous. No, because I'm not going to pay for CBS All Access. I know there's other ways to get access to those types of shows, but overall, no. I have not seen it, and if that is what they're going to say, and if that's the message they're going to try and push, then I sure as hell have no interest in supporting that at all. So Russell Ali says, what's the best mind-bending movie you have seen? Mind-bending film? Ooh, well, of course, people would normally say Inception because that is definitely a go-to answer. But if mind-bending, if you mean like it twists and turns and you don't really see it coming and it's very deep, I love The Prestige. It is probably Nolan's best film. It's also his most underrated film by far. So I love The Prestige. I love the twists and turns that happen in that film. I think it's very well done. It's just a great movie overall. Anything else that would be mind-bending? Blade Runner 2049. But I don't know if that would be considered mind-bending or not. Russell, if you have a more, I guess, the script category that you want me to answer, I can definitely answer that one again. Just put it in the chat. Russell Ali got that one. Mr. Golden Ration, how about a TV series Hannibal? Never seen Hannibal. Never saw the TV series Hannibal. Heard some good things about it, though. Castro Hermosa says, what's your favorite Robin Williams movie ever? Hook. Hands down Hook. Now, there are so many good Robin Williams films, but Hook is my favorite. Because Hook is a great film. I love Hook so much. Stevie says, are there any stand-up comics you like? Not really. I mean, I kind of like stand-up comedy. I like some of Dave Chappelle stuff is pretty funny. John Mulaney stuff is pretty funny too, I would say. Louis C.K. I liked for a while. And it really just depends. I mean, I don't like one particular stand-up comedian. So, but I'm also not a huge stand-up comedy person. The Sense says, so many streams this summer, I'm kind of wish I didn't work in the summer. I know, seriously. Yeah, I mean, and originally I was going to be like, oh, I'm going to do like Monday through Friday. It's going to be crazy. I was like, let's do 4 streams, and then we'll see how they do. And then if over time we need to change the time or, fix certain things with it, we can do that later on. Alice McCarthy says, definitely can't leave out AEW. Oh, yeah, for sure. So we'll talk about AEW. So if you're a wrestling fan, tune in on Wednesday on the Welcome to Asgard channel, my secondary channel, and we'll talk some wrestling then. And we're going to talk about Double or Nothing because holy crap, that pay-per-view was pretty damn great. Almost perfect, one could say. Let's see. Peabody says, can't remember, I think something Blade? Something Blade? As a wrestler? Something Blade? I'm confused by that. Bot says, Inception is overrated, change my mind. No, I will not change your mind because I think that you are right. I would say that I like it. I like Inception a lot, but I can agree that it's overrated for sure. It's not Nolan's best film by far. It is definitely not his best film by far. So no, Bot, I do not need to change your mind on that because I like it, but I can agree it's overrated. There's films that I can like and be like, no, you're right. The Sense says, well, Mothra is bae, so I understand. Mothra is bae. Mothra is totally bae. John Early says, I compared Space Jam to Who Framed Roger Rabbit once, and somebody said, well, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is clearly better, and he used a wine reference to compare them. What? Okay, so trying to say that it, like a fine wine, it is gotten better with age? Okay. Well, I mean, it's hard to compare the two. I would say if I was told which one do you want to watch, Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Space Jam, I would probably choose Roger Rabbit because I grew up with that movie. I mean, I grew up with both films, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a part of my family's, like, go-to. We would watch that film every day for a period of time. So Roger Rabbit is freaking fantastic. I think that objectively it is the better film, but Space Jam is a lot of fun. I love Space Jam. Castromosa says, Mothra had too little interpreters. I know. Ah, okay, gotcha. Random Nerd says, Odin, have you ever played the Lego Star Wars? No, I've never played Lego Star Wars. Never played any of the Lego games. As I said, I'm not much of a gamer, so that's why Thursdays I'll be able to start to actually play around with some gaming on Twitch and see how that goes. But also keeping it chat oriented with open forum chats. Then Hungry Junkie Funky Monkey says, Toys is about a toy factory that Robin inherits control of. His military brother uses it for weapons manufacturing. It's a comedy, but not well received. Interesting. Okay, I gotcha. That is very interesting. The Sense says, World Class BS just made the best Star Wars toy coverage ever. The videos on the decline of Star Wars toys is cool. I like their coverage of that. No, World Class BS has done a great job covering toys because they are ones that they're collectors. And so they know how much those used to be charged, how much they're worth, and what it means to see them on the discount rack that early on. John Early says, there's a horror film stream app called Shudder. I don't know if you've heard of it, Allfather. I have heard of it, but I'm not a horror film fan, and so I have no plans of getting it. Random Nerd Doom, Hannibal Lecter versus Brie Larson. Brie Larson, of course. Brie Larson's going to always win because she's the best, remember? Pete 1972, what's going on, man? He says, this may sound off topic, but what is your favorite book in the fictional literature sense? Ooh, favorite book. I really like, to be honest, I love, I see, this is the person that's not much of a reader. As far as literature is concerned, I always forget the names of the books that I like. So Kite Runner is one that I like. I wouldn't call it one of my favorites, though. There are two, though, that I thoroughly enjoy, that I really love. I've been asked this question, too, and I blanked on it that time, too. So, I'm gonna pass off that one for now. Russell Ali says, I meant movies like Fight Club, Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive, or Old Boy. Can sci-fi like Interstellar or Primer? Okay, I gotcha. Okay, well, I mean, I guess the ones I mentioned would kind of fall into it because there's these twists and turns that kind of make you think, what? This is interesting. I like Fight Club. Fight Club is good. I've never seen Mulholland Drive, never seen Eraserhead, never seen Old Boy. So, and Interstellar was good. I liked Interstellar, but it's overrated. Interstellar is definitely overrated, I would say. Eric Gaming says, do you think any movies from the decade will be considered classics? Very rare, but yes, some. Dark Knight is already, I think, considered a classic. I would put that up there. Whiplash, I would put up there as a movie that I think over time, more and more people will say, God, that ending is so good. So, yeah. I think there's definitely some movies that could be called classic. Alice McCarthy says, thanks, Odin, now to dig out my Prestige Blu-ray. Prestige is so good, though. It is such a good movie. Random says, if an alien facehugger leapt on Brie Larson, would she birth the most dangerous xenomorph ever? Probably. Blake Kerr Q, top 3 Nolan films. Oh, man. So I'd put Prestige as my number 1. No. Dark Knight is number 1. Prestige is number 2. And then I'd probably, I guess, put Batman Begins as my number 3, though Memento is definitely up there, too. Those are all, those are like my top 4 as far as Nolan films go. But number 1 is Dark Knight, 2, Prestige, but those could go back and forth because Prestige really is great. MCOC Josh, are you gonna watch Swamp Thing? Maybe. I did just finish watching the show based on Gary's recommendation, Doom Patrol, and I overall enjoyed it. I overall enjoyed Doom Patrol. There were some things I didn't like character-wise and things they showed, because obviously I'm a Catholic and I'm like, do you really need to show that? Do you really need to go there? But as a show, I thought it was very well done. The chemistry between the characters, the acting was top notch for Doom Patrol. So yeah, I like Doom Patrol. So I guess I will probably try and watch Swamp Thing too then. Cash Hermosa says, how about Attack on Mars? No. John Early says, I know you're not a horror fan, but Hitchcock's Psycho is a horror film, so clearly you like some horror. No. Horror is not the same thing as a thriller. Thriller and horror are two different categories. I like thrillers. I do not like horrors. So, not John Early. Nope. Psycho is a thriller, and it's a great thriller, and I love Psycho because of that. Russell Hunter says, best and worst book to movie TV adaptation that you have ever seen. Worst TV adaptation also happens to be one of my favorite books, which I cannot remember the name of for the life of me. So, stop asking me those things about books. God. Books are my kryptonite. Soul Assassin, good morning. Good morning to you. Alice McCarthy, Old Boy was creepy. It was Thanos and Scarlet Witch and Nick Fury, though. It has Thanos, Scarlet Witch, and Nick Fury, though? Are you talking about the remake? I think the person was asking about the original, because if I was going to watch one, I would watch the original, because I hear the original is a lot better. All right, heading over to my D-Live peeps. What's going on, D-Live peeps? Let us see. Something Blake says, Peabody, what? Peabody says, next time I'll take a picture. Yeah, sounds good. Peabody says, I need K2SO 10-inch finger. If you see one, I'll pay. 10-inch finger? I think you saw they were the very small ones. So they were the ones that were like this size. So I don't know the sizes of them. Are they on the box? I don't know. Peabody says, Eraserhead is a mind trip. Look at my knees. Oh boy. Yeah, so sounds like I might need to see that. Peabody says, that's a line from the movie. Look at my knees? That is interesting. Mars Attacks. No. Mars Attacks is a hilarious movie. They were talking about Attack on Mars, which I think was a book adaptation. Or is that the same thing? Is Attack on Mars Attacks? And is that a adaptation that you're talking about? If that's the case, good Lord. Sticky V, thank you very much for letting them know how to do it. So again, if you are on YouTube and you want me to answer your question or read your comment, just put Odin question, all one word. I don't ask for much. And if you're over on DLive, just put @Odin at the beginning of your comment, and I will read it over there. Let's see. MCOC Josh, just a heads up, Swamp Thing will be a little bit of a horror show. Okay, I gotcha. I'll have to look into that a little bit then. Because if it's more thriller-esque, I can take thrillers. Thrillers I can take. But horror films, not much of a horror person. Random Nerd, Odin, you hate books, you're a teacher, ironic. Well, not really. Because, I teach theology, and so obviously I had to read a lot of books for my degree. So I had to read a lot of books for my degree, but it doesn't mean that I enjoyed actually reading. I didn't enjoy the process of reading. That's why I do audiobooks. Alice McCarthy says, are you watching closely? Yeah, you're right. Alfred Borden in The Prestige is one of the best characters. Oh my God, seriously, that is such a great movie. Seriously. Castro Mosa says, really, Odin, books? I agree to Random Nerd of Doom. I'm sorry, but books are just bleh. I'm not a big fan of books. Let's see. Rakus. What's going on, Rakus? Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for the diamond, Rakus. 606090. Thank you for the diamond, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for joining on DLive, and thank you very much for the diamond. I appreciate it. So let's see. Alage says, why do you think Detective Pikachu is not a $2 billion movie? I thought that the movie will be so huge considering the fan base and normies' likability. Because of when it came out very close proximity to Endgame, which was still making a lot of money. But also, too, those movies have never been that successful. I mean, look at any Pokemon film. They've never been that successful. So I knew from the very beginning it was not going to be a $2 billion film. I thought it was going to make money, meaning it's going to be profitable. But no, Pokemon is never going to be a franchise that's going to make that much. And it's because there's a lot of Pokemon fans, but there's different types of Pokemon fans. There's fans of the game. There's fans of the trading cards. There's fans of the old school games. There's fans of the original animated show. And there's also, of course, the newer fans of the newer games themselves. So I think that's the reason why, is that they are not going to be the same people that, they might want to play a game. Doesn't mean that they want to spend $15 on a ticket to go watch a movie version of something. So that's the reason why. There's not a lot of crossover there. There's not as much as you would think as far as crossover is concerned. Senate says, I recently got mailed the Saga of Swamp Thing, all 6 volumes, and I'll be reading a lot of Swamp Thing over the summer. It's all written by Alan Moore, so it's got to have good writing. Nice, Senate. Very cool. Very, very cool. Hunka Chunky Funky Monkey says, Squadron 40. What's Squadron 40, Hunka Chunky? John Early says, Allfather wants the Meteor Man power where he can simply touch a book and acquire all knowledge. Oh my God, John Early, if I had that power, yes, for sure. I wish I loved reading. Seriously, I wish I could sit down and read a book. But it takes me forever, for starters, because I have ADD. So it takes me forever to read even a small book. And I just don't have that much time. So that's why audiobooks have become like my new thing. So, but man, yeah, Meteor Man's powers, if I could just touch a book and gain all of its knowledge and know everything about it, I would love that. Because I don't mind learning. Learning is not something I'm against. It's just the way in which I learn that I have standards. Random Nerd says, you said you can't handle horror movies. You look at Brie Larson's face a lot. Great. MCOC says, prequels are better than the original trilogy. Wait, are you talking about MCOC Josh? You talking about for Star Wars? No. Heck no. What are you talking about? You're talking about for Star Wars? No, there's no chance in hell the prequels are better than the original trilogy for Star Wars. I will fight you on that. The Senate says, I see you don't do regular books, but what about comic books? No, I'm not a comic reader either. I never got into comics when I was younger. And if, that's normally how it starts. Normally you start off younger and then you just grow with it as you get up, as you get older. I never had that foundation. I never started off with comics, so I never read them. So really the vast extent of my knowledge of comic books really comes down to television series. And the only series I ever fully got into was Batman the Animated Series, which is one of the greatest series of all time. Hands down, one of the greatest series of all time. No question about it. Senna says, I see you don't do regular... Okay, got that one already. Sticky V says, if you've seen them, any thoughts on mystery movies like Triangle or Coherence? I have not seen them. But mystery films are good. I like mystery films. Eric Gaming says, I feel like the actor who played the lead in Detective Pikachu is very weak. It felt like a kid cast right out of high school. What do you think of him? Yeah, he was weak, for sure. He was very green as an actor, but I don't think he was bad. Like, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't cringeworthy. But yeah, it was definitely a weak performance. But I will say this much, too. Had you not had the name of Ryan Reynolds attached to that film, it would not have made any money. I'm just going to be honest. Even though overall I enjoyed the film because it had a lot of fun nostalgia for me, Ryan Reynolds is what makes that movie. And if Ryan Reynolds is not a part of that film, I don't think it makes nearly as much as it does already. Because it's making money, it's making profit. But it would not have even gone close to the number it's making now without Ryan Reynolds' name attached to it. Because sometimes names sell movies. And that's something that we have to be able to understand and accept sometimes, despite what we might think. Hunger Strong and Funky Monkey says, dude, with Voltan sat right in front of you, you blank on Squadron 40? Yes, Squadron 40 I blank on, but if you said dive, I would know what you were talking about, because I don't remember the name of the squadron. I've only seen the movie once, all right? I love the movie. The movie was great, and I love Voltan. Golden's alive, but I don't remember every single line from the movie, dude, all right? So Voltan, though, dive, I anytime anyone says dive or Golden's alive, then I can absolutely get what you're saying. MCOC says, yes, for Star Wars, I love the prequels. MCOC, you can love the prequels, man. They are not better than the original trilogy, though. No chance. Absolutely no chance it's better. I'm just going to say that right now. And many people would fight you on that. Random Nerd, I hope Ivan re-edits Return of the Jedi where Luke fights the Rancor, but replace the Rancor with Kathleen Kennedy. No, probably not. Oscar Garthy says, do you think Christopher Nolan could make a decent Star Wars movie? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I would say, though, the one director I would love to have a Star Wars movie is Denis Villeneuve, because that dude knows how to make sci-fi. That dude knows how to make fantasy. He knows every genre. He is such a great director. That's why I think Dune is going to be great. I think his work on Dune for coming out 2020, 2021 is going to be freaking awesome because Denis Villeneuve knows what the hell he's doing. So, yeah, I would say that he would definitely be good. Christopher Nolan, though, I think he could make a good one. Soul Assassin says, audiobooks makes multitasking a lot easier. I agree with you. John Early says, George Lucas must have thought young Carrie Fisher was a looker because he placed her in a bikini in Return of the Jedi for no other reason that she looked great in it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a lot of things that can be said about that choice. Over on D-Live, Brad says, listen to the audiobooks and the Wheel of Time series. That should take about 10 years to finish. Really? Well, I also listen to books faster. I listen on 1.5 speed. Sometimes if it's a very slow reader, I'll listen on 2. But 1.5 is like my standard listening to books. So just kind of what I do. It's kind of what I do. See, the Senate says, I like the prequels, but better than the original trilogy, you gotta be smoking something. yeah, I think that a lot of people would feel that way. Blake Kirkuka says, Chris Nolan directs Obi-Wan trilogy. Now, that could be cool. That could definitely be cool. Russell Ali says, did you ever happen to see an episode of Tom and Jerry where they are metaphorically get drunk and commit suicide by bus and I watched it as a kid. It somehow passed the censors board. I don't remember that one, but yeah, there were a lot of things that happened in old school cartoons where you're looking back and thinking to yourself, how did that actually get approved? It's interesting how much time has changed. Random Nerd, they should stop calling SJW movies woke. Random, if you're just going to make comments, dude, don't tag me in them. If you have an honest question that's not a joke or is not just an off-colored comment, don't tag me in them, all right? Let everyone else enjoy them, but it's getting tiresome on the eyes. MCOC says, you have to admit, the world building in the prequels is amazing, and what it adds to Star Wars universe is great. Not to mention the Clone Wars cartoon, Sand the lightsaber fight. Well, here's the thing. Clone Wars series is a great series, for sure. And I would say that the Clone Wars series could be on par with creatively with the things that happened in the original trilogy. That could be an argument. But the movies, hell no. The dialogue in the movies is total trash. The effects don't hold up nearly as well. And even though the story is good as far as it connecting, I'm sorry, but no, the movies are not good. I am not prequels are not total trash. And I will never say that they're trash because they are a hell of a lot better than anything that the new trilogy under Disney has been by far, because at least it's a coherent story. But you cannot tell me that the writing is at all better as far as dialogue and even, I would say, overall content compared to the original. No question about it. Let's say no chance in hell. MCOC, okay, gotcha. Allah says, did you watch The Illusionist? Watched it first, so going to Prestige was like the same thing, and the ending was predictable. I know Prestige came first. How to decide a winner? Here's the funny thing, Allah, and I'm glad that you brought that up because, yeah, for those that don't know, there were two movies that came out, Illusionist and Prestige, different movies, but still both of them dealt with magic and magicians, but they came out the same year. And so some people get them confused with each other. I will say, though, I like both. Both are great films. However, there is absolutely no question that there is absolutely a better film in The Prestige. The Prestige is a much better film overall. But yeah, I would definitely say that you have a lot to say there about that. Let us see. Castor Marsa says, gotta go. Thanks for the live stream. It's so late here. Happy Memorial Day. Cass, have a good night. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate that. All right, well, chat has dried up a little bit, so I'd say that this is a pretty successful starting stream. So let me go ahead and pull up my patrons real quick so I can give them a shout as well. And if you want to get any last minute questions in, you can. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this first morning stream edition. So I'm going to go over the schedule one more time, and I will put the preliminary schedule up on Discord, on Twitter as well. And I'll go over it in a little bit. But first, let me shout out my patrons: A Great Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Albertus Magnus, Baptist 702, Brandon Blick. Thank you for being my only subscribe star person. Brian P, Chicago Joe 47, Dan Maloney, Darkstar 57, The Elite System 32, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan, Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka Funkin' Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Drop Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Projar Sarif, Proper Ginevra, Reef Magos, Shenglong, Sir Lance Elato, Theodora the K-Man, the DJD Show, Those Two Bald Guys, and Tina B. Thank you so much for being my patrons. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Brad, over on D-Live, says, listen to the audiobooks of the Wheel of Time series. That should take about 10 years to finish. Again, I think that I can be able to listen to that a little bit faster. PY says, sent you 2 pics to your Discord showing the figure sizes. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Karuke says, hello there, Karuke. How is it going? MCOC says, the acting plays in with the character. I remember someone telling me that it was supposed to happen, that it was how it was supposed to play it out. Again, I just don't think the prequels can hold a candle. John Early says, my favorite Christopher Nolan film is Insomnia, Allfather. Insomnia is a great film. That's a great choice. Is an absolutely great choice. All right, guys. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this early morning stream. So for those that do not know, so the way that the streams are going to work for the summer is I'm still going to have my Monday, Tuesday, Saturday evening streams. Those times will be to be determined. Tonight's will be to be determined, probably 9:30 CST or 10 p.m. CST because I'm having friends coming over. So that is going to affect that. The low council tomorrow, because of my rehearsal schedule, is going to be after 8, so around 8:30. So it's going to be during the High Council, unfortunately, but we will have an evening stream tomorrow, and then Saturday streams will be around the same time as usual. But of course, I will keep you guys posted if those times ever change. But for the new schedule, the new weekday schedule, the way it's going to work is that Monday mornings, it's going to be on the main channel. So it's going to be just like the other streams are as far as where they are broadcast, and it's going to be movie topics, so movie box office talk, movie, just, pop culture discussions as well. Tuesdays, we're going to actually watch a movie together, so we're going to definitely vote on that. So for anyone that has DLive, I would say go ahead and head over to DLive and right now, so that way we can choose a movie for tomorrow, because the movie is only going to be broadcast on DLive. So again, if you have DLive and you want to take part in what movie we watch together tomorrow, go over to DLive. Wednesdays are going to be wrestling streams. So over on the Welcome to Asgard channel, the secondary channel, we're going to talk about wrestling news. So we're talking about WWE, AEW's big event. Obviously, it's going to be the main topic this weekend. So it's going to be recaps of the shows of Raw and SmackDown, the current, direction of those characters and things like that. So that's going to happen this weekend. So this week, so that's going to be on Wednesdays. Thursdays will be a Twitch exclusive stream, and that will be a gaming / open forum, just chat, hangout stream. All right. Let's see. A couple last minute things. Soul Assassin says, what's your opinion on the rumor that Charlie Hunnam is going to play Wolverine? He could do it, but I don't think he is as charismatic of a person to play that role. Alex McCarthy says, successful stream, Odin. No one started a stream while you were streaming. I know, seriously, right? Right? Alage says, thank you for the great work. You are unique on YouTube. Hope you get bigger, and tell us for the end, will you be doing different themed videos? Your reactions would be priceless. Different themed videos? Wait, what? For the end? Tell us wait, what? I'm so confused. Let's see. Mulala, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Guy after my own heart movie reviews. What's going on, man? What's going on? Hello, hello, hello. And Trung123, thank you for the follow over on DLive. So again, if you're on DLive, go ahead and start leading. I'm gonna put it. Obviously, I'm gonna have the stream ending up, but we're gonna pick a movie to watch tomorrow on DLive. So again, if you want to be a part of that discussion, if you don't have a DLive account, either make one and then join over to DLive. It's called Odin's Movie Blog is the name of the stream, is the name of the channel. And if you're already on DLive, let's start getting some movie ideas coming out. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. You're all amazing, beautiful people. Thank you for everyone that donated through Super Chats. And also thank you for everyone that donated over on DLive as well. I will see you guys tomorrow on DLive for the morning stream, but also tonight, again, sometime late tonight, we'll have our regular Welcome to Asgard channel stream. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.